This is the video lesson in our fluency unit for having stress when we read. And the stress we're talking about today is not the anxiety stress that we get from schoolwork or practice or siblings or parents or teachers. The stress we're talking about today is how we read words and how sometimes we read words louder or softer depending on the text. And so today what I want to teach you is how you can look for stress in your reading, how we can read words with more force. And so for this, we're going to look at our Google Doc. And actually, you know what? Before we look at the Google Doc, I want to go back and have you real quick look at a lesson we looked at earlier where we were just looking at all the dimensions of fluency. And I want you to kind of remember that the work we're doing all kind of culminates to this idea of what does it mean to be a fluent reader. And so we have to have pausing in our reading. We have to have phrasing in our reading. Today we're going to talk about having stress, intonation, which is like expression, and having a good rate when we read. And then all of those 5 dimensions together come to make integration, which is just putting them together. And so our integration is going to be our reader's theater, where you're going to be assessed on each of these dimensions of fluency in your reader's theater that you do. So today let's look at our last one, stress. So the emphasis readers place on particular words, sometimes having a louder tone to reflect the meaning of the text. And again, if we look at our rubric, of course, this is a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. And some things to think about when you're thinking about which words to stress is you want to find the most important word or two in the sentence that has meaning. You want to make that louder than when you read other words. You also want to notice the mood of the scene and make your voice louder or softer to match. And you want to notice the characters and their personalities. What would they sound like if they were really reading it? So what I did is I took a sample Reader's Theater script. No one picked this piece, so I'm going to use it as my mentor text to look at how I might be using stress in my reading. So as I start here, listen for which words I might make louder or softer, and how I also am using a little bit of intonation, which is expression when I read. Of course, I'm going to be all the characters mixed into one. It is 1866. Sarah Winnemucca and her brother Natchez live on a Paiute reservation in Nevada. They are discussing a horrible crime against another Paiute with one of their elders. "It is true, my children. Our dear brother has been killed." "No! What happened?" "Agent Nungut sold some gunpowder to our brother, even though it's against the law. Later, another white man killed our brother for carrying the forbidden gunpowder. The people are furious and want to take revenge against Nugent. If the people take revenge, we will surely be punished. The army will make our lives miserable. Sarah, what should we do?" So if I pause for a minute, hopefully you heard me say some words louder than others. I also might not have pronounced the words correctly, but I'm working on thinking about my stress in my reading. So I emphasized no. What happened? I try to make it sound like if I was really this character, Sarah, I'd be asking, what happened? My brother's been killed. Like, I need to show some expression when I read that. I need to show some stress in my voice. And so you're going to look today at your text, your Reader's Theater script, and you're going to look for where would I might stress some areas. Tomorrow, we're going to actually mark up the text with all these dimensions of fluency. And today, I just want you to particularly pay attention to how are you stressing certain parts. Not being too overdramatic if the text is not calling for that, but if the text is calling for you to be dramatic, we want to bring that theatrical kind of personality to our reading. So once everyone in your group has finished watching this video, go ahead and grab your scripts and start looking for looking for areas where you will stress.